In 1961, a psychologist at Yale University asked a question that still feels uncomfortable today. How far will an ordinary person go when an authority figure tells them to continue? Stanley Milgram recruited 40 men from New Haven and nearby communities. They came from different jobs and educational backgrounds. Each believed he was joining a study about memory and learning. When a participant arrived, he met another man and an experimenter wearing a technician's coat. They were told that one person would become the teacher and the other would become the learner. They drew slips from a hat, but the draw was rigged. The real participant always became the teacher. The learner was an actor working with the experimenter. The teacher watched as the learner was taken into another room, strapped to a chair, and connected to electrodes. The experimenter explained that the shocks could be extremely painful, but would cause no permanent tissue damage. Then the teacher was seated in front of a large shock generator. It contained 30 switches, starting at 15 volts and rising in 15-volt steps, all the way to 450 volts. The labels became more frightening as the voltage increased: slight shock, strong shock, extreme intensity shock, danger, severe shock, and the final switches were simply marked with 3 X's. To make everything feel real, the participant received a genuine 45-volt sample shock before the test began. The task sounded simple. The teacher read pairs of words to the learner. Every time the learner gave a wrong answer, the teacher had to press a switch and increase the voltage. At first, the experiment seemed controlled: 15 volts, 30, 45. The learner continued answering, and the teacher continued pressing the switches. But the machine was fake. No shocks were being delivered to the learner. The participant did not know that. The learner's answers and reactions were carefully planned in advance. As the voltage climbed, the situation became darker. At 300 volts, the learner pounded on the wall. After that, his answers disappeared from the signal box. The participant often turned toward the experimenter, confused and worried. Should he stop? The experimenter told him to treat silence as a wrong answer, wait several seconds, and increase the voltage again. At 315 volts, the pounding happened once more. Then the learner became completely silent. No answers, no voice, nothing. Many participants were visibly distressed. They sweated, trembled, protested, and asked to stop. But the experimenter stayed calm. Please continue. The experiment requires that you continue. Step by step, the voltage rose until it reached 450 volts. The results shocked everyone. In Milgram's best-known condition, 26 of 40 participants reached the maximum level, that is 65%. The shocks were not real, but the participants believed they were hurting another person. The experiment did not prove that people are naturally cruel. It showed how strongly authority, gradual pressure, and shared responsibility can influence ordinary people. 15 volts did not feel like 450, but one small step led to another until many participants crossed a line they never expected to cross. That is the disturbing lesson of Milgram's experiment. Dangerous obedience often begins with a simple request from someone who appears legitimate. So the final question is not only what they did, it is what you would have done. Would you have stopped, or would you have obeyed?